Our favorite company, CR England, just delivered another load of hooey to Overdrive magazine and their podcast. Did you check it out? Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. I'm Mark, your truth detecting host. So recently on the Overdrive podcast, and they have a small article about this, I'll link all this in the description, they interviewed Pam Wilson, who's the VP of Process Development at CR England. That's right. Now, she came to work at England, and when she went in to interview with Chad England, right? Chad England, he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you go undercover like the Pink Panther at our truck school? Because we have a big turnover rate. We have no idea why. Apparently, everybody that's quit over the years has never mentioned any problem. They just quit suddenly. So she goes, that's a great idea. I don't know anything about trucking. I'll go do that. All right. So I listened to this, and you should too. And she went through the truck school, staying in the dorm some of the time. She said, not all the time, and we can't stay there every day. I stay in the dorm every day. And then she went over the road for a full week, and it was scary. She said there were times when she didn't have cell phone signal, and she said she had to go with a man. That's correct. Maybe she's thinking about CR England's recent problems with this type of thing. Who knows what she was thinking about? I know this. I know that because of her insight into trucking with her vast 4 weeks of experience, she was able to improve retention by half. That's correct. That's what she said. Now, the host, unfortunately, didn't follow up with anything similar to, what? That might have been the question that I asked next. But no numbers were given, no proof of anything, nothing. Apparently, she has such insight that she improved the numbers by half by just saying so. Why? Well, she gave some reasons why they might be improved. They treat people exceptionally. That is correct. Now, which something you didn't know, which I didn't realize also, although I guess you figured it, the majority of drivers at England are either new or completing their 90 days. That's the majority of drivers at England. That's what they said. So that's awesome. Now, home time is now on time every time, she said, okay? Problems are handled on the first call, and you will be greeted warmly. They had to hire a VP of Process Development to know you shouldn't be treated terribly when you call in on the phone with a problem. Imagine that. Boy, these are some real insights that she brought into trucking. Wow. Here's a real thing here, which she talked about in here, and it didn't even occur to her that this is a problem. This is why when you get some kind of corporate drone like this, who's been in the corporate world their whole life and is a VP of Process Development, which nobody even knows what that is, this is how they talk. This is why England has a problem. So she needed to improve the call flow so that we can connect and empower with the end user. That's what she said. You know who the end user is there? The driver. You're just an end user to them. To somebody like this, you're just an end user. They have to improve their flow chart for the end user. Guess what? Here's a little tip. The end user, they're people. Guess what? Like Soylent Green, just like that. End users are not end users, they're people. They each have problems. You need to connect with people, not with end users. There's a tip for you right there. Stop thinking everybody's an end user of your product so you can improve your call flow and connect and empower with them. What a bunch of college crapola. Now we can see how this person lived their life because she talked about a woman who came into truck school. Now, and this woman had to take the bus, Greyhound, for 48 hours and only had crackers on the bus because she didn't have any money. And so Pam Wilson says how lucky this person was. Oh, and I love this too. She just happened to be African American. It sounded like somebody who's not been exposed to a lot of different kind of people in their life. It's somebody that might say, Oh, well, you sure. Some of my best friends are, insert name of a different race or culture there. That's exactly what it sounded like. Somebody lives by her own admission, right? She says, she's lived an insulated, better life than most people, what she says in there. And I totally believe it. It's not like Utah is the, bastion of diversity anyway. So, okay, she says how lucky this woman was that England was there to take care of her. I wrote that down. Wow, how lucky it is that you took a bus for 2 days eating crackers. Wow, thank you, England, for being so great to people like that. A couple years ago, I had to train some drivers in Chattanooga, Tennessee here for my company. Did I take a bus down there? I did not. They rented me a car, had my own room, and they fed me every day. They go, here's some money. Why don't you go feed your face while you're down there doing work for us? That's how you take care of an end user, okay? You don't sit them on a Greyhound for 2 freaking days and then come out and like, wow, how lucky this was because, quote, England, I love this. England is taking care of vulnerable people. Vulnerable. People are just vulnerable. Boy, isn't it great that England is there for you? Man, they are there for you. Although there were a lot of softball questions, the host did ask about pay. He goes, how about the pay over there in England? What's the story with the pay? Okay, so England is a huge company, she said, and they got a lot of bills. We got bills. But get this. I can't even take it, okay? They give empathy and hope, and that's worth more than money. Empathy, and that's what they give you, empathy and hope. I've got my Duke Energy bill right here, okay? This is the electric bill. It just came yesterday. Electric bill. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Duke Energy empathy and hope instead of paying this bill. Bill, see, it's still close. I'm not going to pay it. I'm going to give them empathy and hope. I'm going to call them up. I'm going to go, look, Duke Energy, I feel your pain. I can empathize with you. You're not getting any money. I got money. You want it. I get it, right? I get it. It's terrible. I really, really understand totally what you're going through. But wait, look, if you'll just believe, I'm going to tell Duke, if you'll just believe in the future that out there somewhere is a check from me coming to you, then it's going to happen. I go, you just got to believe. You just got to have that belief, that hope system, that in the future, money from me will come to you. It will, because I feel inside for you, Duke Energy. I feel it. I know. That's way better than money, which is what she said. Empathy and hope is worth more than money. So basically, she spent the whole time sucking up to Chad. What you don't know is that I wrote to her and I said, look, I want to help England and the whole industry improve also. And it seems like you also want to do that. Let's talk. I want to talk about how you improve things. Let's get the word out there. If retention is really up like that, they must be doing something better, something that they weren't doing, right? So let's get the word out to people. Okay, here I wrote a response down. Let's read it off to you so we get it correct. Surprise, no response, okay? Couldn't be bothered to respond. I guess I'm not an end user of their product. She didn't give me any empathy or hope that they would respond, although I have a belief that in the future I'll get a response. It's just ridiculous. Okay, this whole thing is ridiculous, that she could come in there like this and improve by 50% with just her say-so, even though literally thousands of people over the years have gone through England school and many have quit, according to England. And do you think none of them have given any kind of advice like, hey, this is why I'm quitting, or this is garbage, this is my problem? Duh. Okay, here's a little bit of advice, and I'm not the VP of Process Development. England, you don't have end users, okay? You have drivers. Every driver has different needs, all right? The better you can work to meet those needs, the better off you'll be. Home time. I get a lot of complaints from drivers about England home time and not meeting their home time. And I wrote to some people that I know that work there at England right now, and they all say nothing there has changed. Okay, you want your end users to have a better call flow experience. When you say you can go home on Friday, get them home on Friday, period. Honor your word. That's what you expect drivers to do. That would go a long way at England and any company. Honoring your word, no matter what it is. If you'd said that Friday and then they go, we don't have a load, you send him home empty, okay? Because you tell him, we said we'll get you home, you're going to be home. That would go a ton of ways to getting people to stay at your place. That's just one thing you could do there. But I don't know if the VP of Process Development figured that out in her 4 long weeks, with a whole week over the road where she sometimes didn't even have a cell phone signal. Oh, the horrors that must have been experienced on the road. I empathize with her plight. I empathize with it, and I hope that in the future she gets a better cell phone carrier so that she can have better processes and that her end user experience is better. Still waiting for an email from them. Don't know if it'll come or not, all right? Otherwise, if I get one, I'll let you know. Until then, thank you for watching, and we'll be back soon with more Trucking Answers for End Users.